So I was driving home from work today and a song came on my playlist that I've listened to probably a dozen times, and it's a song about resurrection. And the one line that kind of kept coming out to me today is this desire for coming alive. And I think what's happened in the midst of this quarantine is we have been faced with the fragility of our humanity and this very, very palpable sense of mortality. And what that resulted in is it forces you out of the monotony of every day, kind of this numbness that we get from keeping our head down and going through life just preoccupied with the various things around us. And at least for me, this has resulted in me being so very keenly aware right now of my own physical needs and limitations, the needs of my family, the needs of their presence in my life, the needs of fellowship in my life. And I think most uniquely, it has made me so aware of the needs of the larger community and really the world in a way that I've never truly felt before. And so in that way, I'm really grateful to have had this experience of coming alive.
Hi, I'm George Groen. The resurrection is meaningful to me because I learned it as a boy from Lord's Day 17 of the Heidelberg Catechism. The question is number 45. How does Christ's resurrection benefit us? The answer is, first, by his resurrection he has overcome death, so that he might make us share in the righteousness that he won for us by his death. And second, by his power, we too are already now resurrected to a new life. And third, Christ's resurrection is a guarantee of our glorious resurrection.
Hi, I'm Merideth Sullivan, and in this time of uncertainty and fear and suffering of so many different kinds, the resurrection has become particularly meaningful to me this year. It's the complete opposite of all of those things. It is life and love and hope, and if I can remember that I have access to that in my tough times, it reminds me that I can get through this, that we will all get through this, and we are not alone. Happy Easter, Emmanuel.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I have the pleasure of serving as an elder on session here at Emmanuel. This year, the resurrection during this period of quarantine just affirms that it's okay to be scared, it's okay to be fearful, but that we trust in the one who conquered death. And find hope in the fact that Jesus lives inside of us. It's just more apparent now than ever.
Hi, I'm Debbie Barber. As a person who tends to get really focused on trying to do good things instead of being still before God, this resurrection celebration this year feels more real. The distractions have been stripped away. And I'm left with that choice of, do I distract myself, hide from God's love, or do I face it and accept it? And I feel like that really is a challenge of every single day. And the amazing thing about God's love for us is that no matter what we choose, no matter what I choose, he is with me and he will never let go.
So what does the resurrection mean to me in 30 seconds or less? Well, when Paul tells us in Romans that nothing can separate us from the love of God, life nor death, principalities, angels, demons, which I think would include things like political systems, and coronaviruses, the resurrection is really the way that God proves that. It's an easy thing to say. The resurrection shows that it's true, and that's of great comfort.
This is Chris Meyer. What does Jesus' resurrection mean to me? It means more than ever at the moment. Jesus gives me eternal hope at a time when basically time is standing still, when feeling frightened is a normal daily occurrence, when being loving, patient, and present with those who I'm sheltering with is actually one of my biggest failures on a daily basis. There are so many things I could talk about, being separated from others, the economic fears, but basically Jesus gives me that eternal help. And while I will not forget the pandemic, in the long term, I know that will be a blip compared to the blessings and the eternal life that Jesus has actually welcomed me and all of us into.
This is Caroline Ross, and how I am experiencing Jesus' resurrection this quarantined Easter. One of the verses that is providing great comfort to me is from Psalm 139, and it's just one line so I can remember it. It is, "Behind and before, you encircle me and rest your hand upon me." And while we are all being away from one another, this is just a super comforting thought and prayer. Miss all of you.
This is Steve Bagdanov, and this year, Jesus' resurrection is meaningful because it will be more like the very first Easter. The disciples were quarantined in the upper room, anxious and isolated. The resurrection changed that fear into hope. The first instructions they received were to wait, and while they waited, they were changed. The resurrection hopes that this life has value even when the worst happens. The resurrection calls us to wait. So take this time to wait and pray. Thy kingdom come. He is risen.